Hello everyone, let's solve Max exam Math B 2015 question 3, okay? So let's see the plane curve y equals f of x. So this is f of x defined by the cubic function, okay? With AB real constants. Fill in the blanks with the answer to the following questions, okay? So when C is tangent to the x-axis at x equals 3, what are A and B? So we need to understand first what does this mean. Like, let's imagine something like this, our function, maybe something like this, okay? Here. Tangent over here, okay? It is touching over here. Just I can't draw very well. So notice that over here we have the slope equals 0, okay? Here it is 0.3, okay? So the slope is 0. Like if it was a quadratic function like this would be a minimum point with the slope 0, right? Over here the slope is not 0. Over here the slope is 0, okay? So and the other information that this point over here is part of the of our function, the point 3 and 0. When x equals 3, f of x is equal to 0 because it touches over here, okay? So this point is part of it. So why are we saying all of this? Because this is the two informations that we are going to use to solve the first question. Well, look, f of x is equal to x cubed minus 4x squared plus ax plus b, right? Let me see. Ax plus b, right? So, and it is tangent when x equals to 3. So, remember, when f of 3, when we are using f of 3, it is equal to 0. Why? Because it is tangent. So, something like this, right? It is touching the 0 over here. I'm drawing very bad these things. Okay, I hope this is like, you see, for it to be tangent, it needs to touch over here, and this point over here is the point 3 and 0. So f of x, so this is f of x. Now in place of x, let's put 3. So 3 cubed minus 4 multiplied by 3 squared plus a multiplied by 3 plus b equals what? Equals 0, because f of 3 equals 0, okay? So 3 cubed is 27 minus 3 squared is 9 multiplied by 4 is 36 plus 3a plus b equals 0. So 27 minus 36, we have minus 9 plus 3a plus b equals 0, okay? And this is the first information that we are going to use later, okay? Because we need the values of a and b, right? We need the values of a and b. So we need another equation. If we have two variables, we need two equations, right? So that we can solve. Now, notice that the first information, from where did I get it? I got it from the fact that it passes this point. Now I'm going to use the fact that in this point the slope is 0. If it is tangent in this point, it can only have a slope of 0, okay? So yes, now we are going to use the derivative. So the derivative of f of x, when x is equals 3, this is a slope of 0, okay? So even the derivative of f of x in x equals 3, it is 0. Why? Because the slope, the derivative gives you the slope of the function that you want, and it is tangent. Notice, if you can't make it anything like tangent over here without the slope being 0 over here, okay? Because this is the x-axis, okay? It is tangent to the x-axis, so the slope must be 0 of this function. So let's derive f of x. Now let me just copy f of x so that we can derive it. So the derivative of f of x comma is equal to what? Now the derivative of x cubed is 3x squared, right? The derivative of a polynomial, the easiest one. So minus the derivative of x squared is 2x, but we have a 4 multiplying, so 8x. I don't think there's a problem in me doing a bit fast. So the derivative of x is 1. 1 multiplied by a, it's a, right? So the only thing that I'm using over here, like the derivative of x cubed, you do it 3x squared, right? Remember, this is the rule of the derivative. And the derivative of it is nx n minus 1, okay? So this is the thing that I used for every one of them. Okay, now remember, when the derivative of f of x, when we are choosing in the point 3, we have a slope of 0, okay? So over here, let's put in place of x 3. So 3 multiplied by 3 squared minus 8 multiplied by 3 plus a equals 0. Notice that the b over here does not have any x's with it. So this is why we didn't put it over here, because the derivative of a constant is 0, right? So this is 0 over here, okay? 0. So 3 squared multiplied by 3 is 27, minus 3 multiplied by 8 is 24, plus a equals 0. So a is equal to minus 3, okay? 27 minus 24 is 3, goes to the other side, minus 3, okay? So this is the information. Now notice that over here, we had this information over here. But now we know the value of a, so we can use this information to find the value of b, okay? So minus 9 plus 3a, but a is minus 3, plus b equals 0. So notice that b minus 3 multiplied by 3 is minus 9. Minus 9 minus 9, it's minus 18. Goes to the other side, plus 18, okay? So these are our values of a and b, okay? A is equal to minus 3 and b is equal to 18, okay? So let's solve the next question. When one holds, so this is right. So now, 1 second. So this holds. What does he mean when one holds? So this is f of x, right? The f of x that he gave us. But now, when one holds, f of x equals x cubed minus 4x squared plus a. But a holds, so a is minus 3. So minus 3x plus b. b is 18. So 18. So this is our next. So this is the one that we are going to use now, okay? Over here. So when one holds, find all x's such that C has points in common with the x-axis. So what is he asking you if right now is the roots. What do I mean? But like if it was a quadratic function, this is what he's asking you. This point that it is cutting the x-axis, okay? So he's asking you what points do we have? 1 second. What points do we have that that this curve has in common with the x-axis? So our curve is something like this, right? We know that it is tangent in point 3, but it has a point in common in 3. So 3 is one of the points, okay? 3 and 0. You need only the axis over here. So I'm just putting the 0 so that we understand. And then we have maybe something like this. Yeah, it can't be something like this. It's a cubic function. So maybe like this. I don't know. So let's find these points of intersection. So how can we find these points? Well, look, we know that there is a point of intersection already. What point is it? Now, when x equals 3, x equals 3 is a point of intersection. Now, notice that we can write any polynomial, like let's say g of x, as x minus the first root multiplied by x minus the second root multiplied by x minus the c root, like this, if this was maybe. So this is a, this is b over here, this is c. Why? Because these are the values that it can zero this function, but no problem if you don't know this. Look, do you know the way to find the roots of a cubic function? So it comes from the fact that we can divide them. What do I mean by this? Like x minus 3 multiplied by something, okay? Just bear with me. For those that already know how to solve it, try to solve it by yourself. It's the Briot, in Portuguese we call it Briot Ruffini. But you can search how to solve a cubic function. So this is what I'm trying to explain, okay? So look, you can write f of x is equal to x minus 3 multiplied by something that gives you this, okay? Why x minus 3? Why? Because 3 is a root when x passes, okay? When x passes, 3 is a root, so 3 is a possible answer. Like, we can use a quadratic function to example, but I don't want to take too long in this question. So what basically we are saying, it's like we are making a factoring this term over here in smaller terms. Now I know that x minus 3 is in fact one part of the terms, because as I told you, we can write always the polynomial as x minus roots, here being root in x minus root, and multiply them, okay? Now to find this part over here, you can divide the polynomials. You can divide this polynomial over here by this one, or you can do the method of Briot. So what is the method of Briot? Let's do them in both ways, okay? So look, the method of Briot, you can put the 3 over here. Why the 3? Because we already know that the 3 is a root. If we didn't know the 3 is a root already, we needed to test it. We will test 1, we will test minus 1, we will test 0, 0, yeah, 0. That's 0 now. Finish over here, so by using the Briot, so we take the coefficients over here, so 1, minus 4, minus 3, and 18. Okay, so this comes actually from the division of the polynomials, okay, if I remember correctly. So first one, so the 1 you repeat it over here, and then you multiplied 1 by 3, so 3, 1 multiplied by 3, and then you do plus this, right? So 1 multiplied by 3 is 3, minus 4 is minus 1, okay? Right. So now we do the same thing over here. Minus 1 multiplied by 3 is minus 3, and then we sum it over here. So minus 3 minus 3, so it is minus 6, and then we do the same thing over here, right? We do minus 6 multiplied by 3 is minus 18, and then plus 18, 0, and it always should end with 0, okay? And now the way that we can write it is x minus 3 multiplied by x squared, because the coefficient of x squared is 1, minus x minus 6. So this is f of x, okay? This is f of x, okay? If you multiply it, you'll get this back over here. This back. If you multiply this stuff over here, you should get the green stuff back, okay? This stuff over here back. Now, another way for you to do this is you can say that x minus 3 is a divisible polynomial for x cubed minus right, minus 4x squared minus 3x plus 18, okay, plus 18. Why x minus 3 is divisible? Because the 3 is a root, and you can say like x. Why is it minus 3 not plus? Because you want it to be a root, so this part over here is 0, so x equals 3 is a root, okay? So this is why it's minus. So if you do this division over here, what do you think you will get? You start dividing the polynomial, do it by yourself, okay? And you will get over here what? X squared minus x minus 6, okay? So this is the thing that you would get, okay? So now you can find all the roots, right? Because look, for f of x to be equals to 0, now we know that f of x is equal to what? Is equal to x minus 3 multiplied by x squared minus x minus 6. So either this part is 0, because 0 multiplied by any number is 0, or this part is 0. So if x minus 3 is equal to 0, so x equals 3, so we have a root in 3. Now let's see over here where this part equals 0. So solving the quadratic formula, we have b plus or minus, b is 1 over here. It's minus 1, but the quadratic formula is minus b, right? Plus or minus square root of delta, which is 25 divided by 2. So we have plus 1 divided by 2. So 5 plus 1 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. And 1 minus 5 is minus 4, divided by 2 is minus 2. So these are our chances, right? X equals 3, x equals 3, and x equals minus 2. So we have a double root in the 3 part, okay? So our x of roots are 3 and the minus 2, okay? So these are our points, okay? So over here it is 3 and minus 2, okay? So now for the last question we are going to use calculus, okay? Again, the integral, we are going to use integrals, okay? And a was minus 3 and b was 18, okay? Okay, so for the next one, he is asking us, like, look, now we understand more about our function, right? Our function over here. So we know that in minus 2 it is cutting the x-axis, and then we have a tangent over here, right, in point 3, okay? So what area does he want? This area over here, okay? This area, this is minus 2 and this is 3. So what imagine, like, what am I going to say for the integral? Because this area is a curved area, so we need to solve it with integrals, right? So the integral will be from where to where? From minus 2 to 3. This is why we found the minus 2 and 3, because now we know from where it's cutting the x-axis. Of what? Of the function f of x dx, okay? But what was f of x? Where is it? Over here, f of x, okay? So f of x is equal to this. So now we are going to integrate this. We are going to integrate this over here. From minus 2 to 3 dx, okay? So this integral over here should give us the area, okay? So how can we integrate this? Now it is an integral of a polynomial, so notice that we have x cubed. What is the integral of x cubed? It is x to the fourth divided by 4. X squared, it is x cubed divided by 3, right? This is how we integrate it. Now notice that we have a lot of minus signs over here, so be careful to not make a mistake with the minus signs, okay? Do it step by step, okay? So the integral of this, so the integral of x cubed is x divided it is x to the fourth divided by 4, right? From where to where? From minus 2 to 3. Now the integral of minus 4x cubed divided by 3, from where to where? From minus 2 to 3. Minus 3 of x squared divided by 2, right? The integral of x from where to where? From minus 2 to 3. No, just 1 second. And the next one is plus 18x, right? The integral would be x to the 1th power divided by 1, from where to where? From minus 2 to 3. Now notice that here we have a minus, okay? So don't make a silly mistake messing out with the minus. So look, x to the 4th. Now the first one from 3, right? So 3 to the 4th is, let me change the color, is 81 divided by 4, right? Now we have minus what? X to the 4th minus 2 to the 4th divided by 4, okay? Now notice minus 2 to the 4th will become a positive number, will be 16, divided by 4 will be 4, okay? So it is minus 4, okay? Now this part is over here, okay? So this part over here is the yellow part, okay? Now let's do the next part over here. So now we will have that x cubed win 3, right? So minus 4 multiplied by x cubed, 3 cubed, divided by this 3 over here, right? So how much is this? Well, we are going to have 3 cubed is 27, divided by 3 is 9, multiplied by 4 is 36, right? So we'll have over here minus 36, and then we have this minus, and then the minus from the integral sign, right? Because we are going to take the down part over here, so it is going to be plus what? Plus 4, because remember this is a minus, and then we have a minus from the integral part. So we have over here 4 multiplied by x cubed. Now x cubed is minus 2 cubed divided by 3, right? So divided by 3, and we have it now what? Now minus 2 cubed is going to be minus 8. Minus 8 multiplied by 4 is minus 32 divided by 3, right? So we are going to have minus 32 divided by 3, okay? So one second, here it is 4. So now let's do this next term over here, for the green term over here, okay? For the green term. Now for the green term we have minus 3 divided by 2, x squared when for the upper bounds is 3, okay? So 3 squared, 9 multiplied by 3, 27 divided by 2, okay? So we are going to have minus 27 divided by 2, and then we are going to have minus, because we are going to the down part, but we have a minus over here, so it is plus, okay? plus 3 divided by 2 x squared minus 2 squared. Okay, so this is going to be what? Plus 6, right? Plus 6 over here. Plus 6 over here. Now for the last part, let me see if I can find another color over here. Orange. Okay, orange. So the last one, I think it will be easier. Now we have plus 18x. 18x, so 18 multiplied by 3, it is, we have 54. So we will have 54, right? 54, and then minus 18 multiplied by x, but x is minus 2, so it will be minus multiplied by minus, which is 30, which is plus, right? So it will be plus 36. Okay, now if you finish this over here, you have that 625 divided by 12. Okay, this is the, okay, so I'm going now to show you in the program. Over here we have the right graph. Look at this one over here, okay, the blue one. Okay, now look, we have it over here, 0.3 and 0. That's, oh, let me see if I can get a pen over here. Over here, so look, the slope, it is 0, right? And we have the 0.3 and 0 that we used first to find the things that we wanted. And the other, we have over here the other root over here, minus 2 and 0. And the area he wanted was this area of this curve over here, from minus 2 to 3. Okay, all this area, this is why it was an integral. Okay, and another thing that I want to say, like, look over here. Now look at this g of x. Okay, g of x, you see that it is like, it is f of x. Now you see that I wrote it by the way that I just told you about the roots. Okay, look, if you multiply all these parentheses, x minus g multiplied by, we can say x minus g squared over here. I just put it this way so that you can see that it doesn't change. Okay, same thing, I just put it that way so that we understand that we found the two roots. Okay, so notice that over here this is plus 2, right? Plus 2, because the root actually is when x equals minus 2. So if you say that x plus 2, 1 second, if you say that x plus 2 equals 0, you'll have that x is equal to minus 2. Okay, so this is why it is minus plus 2, because notice that if each one of these are roots. Okay, so I call the g of x just so that we don't have any problem, but it is exactly f of x. You can see that, look, the red, now the blue, and both of them, like, you can't maybe see them well because of the color. Let me see if I configurations, let me put the color over here. So let's put maybe a yellow color. Yeah, it's, so I think you get it, that it is the same, right? So why is this? Because if we want g of x being, which is f of x actually, being 0, we can say that any one of these three terms, any one of these three parentheses can be 0, right? If x minus 3 was 0, then the other one would be 0 too. Then it is multiplied by anything would be 0, right? 0 multiplied by anything is 0. So x minus 3 is 0. Why? Because when x equals 3, we have 0. And when x equals minus 2, we have another 0. So this is a way that when you are studying quadratic functions, you can train this. Like if you have x squared minus 2x minus 2, you can find the the roots using the quadratic formula minus b and this plus or minus using that stuff, and then you can write f of x equals x minus the first root that you find multiplied by x minus the second root that you find. And if the root you find is minus, like if it was minus 2 or something like this, you would have plus 2. Okay, I can't solve this fast in my head. Okay, so try do it. It's really useful to do it like this. And how we found the, remember there was an integral. And second thing, you can do you can do it by the Briot method, or you can just divide it, uh, something like this. So you know that the polynomial that you have, it's divisible, is you can divide by x minus g. Now you want to find the other stuff, so you can say that it was, one second, over here. So you can divide the polynomials. So x cubed minus 4x squared minus 3x plus 18. So you can divide the polynomials, and then you will find the answer. Okay, the answer for these polynomials, that these two other parentheses, that when you multiply them all together give you what? Give you the f of x, this one. Okay, so I hope you did understand. And the slope, when the slope is equals to 0, when the derivative is equal to 0, you have a slope equals 0 over here. So slope of 0, right? This is not a slope of 0, but it is tangent to the x-axis, so the slope over here is 0. This point over here is 3 and 0. This area over here is an area of a curve, so you can't use the normal method. It is an integral defined from -2 to 3. Okay, so this is it.